But who was that person? Was it Nautilus, who can just be split away with the Monsoon? It definitely wasn't Nunu, who wants to be fighting around the AD carry. And the result was when they wanted to press the go button, they couldn't find it because they didn't have one.
Well, we'll see if IG can find it this draft. They ban away Rek'Sai on the blue side. There is their first one. Vici answer with Rookies LeBlanc being put back into the banned list as well. Nearly another ban there for IG, consistently banning 2 junglers against Dandy as they ban there as well. I believe 4 same bans done already.
All I'm looking for from IG, the path for me, will just be a comp that has an identity. When you saw the disengage coming through from the Janna in the second round of picks for Vici, go for some poke, because of course Janna's going to be strong at resetting fights. You can't necessarily pick dive when Janna's selected. So go for some poke, go for a comp with some identity. Instead, Vici got what they wanted, rotated around the map, and IG just had nothing. No kind of trumps to be talked about. They're going for a team fight last pick, when team fights were just going to be so difficult with the previous 4 picks they had.
Yeah, Maokai banned there as well. So IG sticking to their guns from the Game 1 draft here. Vici, wonder if they'll look to adapt, and they will, banning away Sejuani on the red side. First picked it for Dandy in Game 1. Do not want to give it to Kakao.
Yeah, so very strong priority onto them. First picking, then banning away the Sejuani. What will IG first pick? We've seen Hecarim be a consideration. Sivir's been very popular. The Gragas, though, okay. Finally, they have a champion that really opens up multiple strategies. We've said that Gragas, one of his greatest strengths is opening up turret damage comps to make them turret sieging comps. Because again, there's champions like Lucian who do so much turret damage, but to get into 500 range is risky. Throw out that explosive cast for displacement, and then take down objectives. So they've got some strategic options here. Can disengage, can engage fights. Much prefer that over the Nunu, but of course, that leaves up the Yeti for Vici.
Yeah, Vici might go full disengage. Love the Gragas throw from Kakao. Nice and proactive is the main difference for me, is why I like to see him on these sort of champions. Vici considering some of their options, though, going to look through. Dandy seems like he wants Nunu. He's going to lock it in, and Mata's going to get Thresh.
And look, I don't mind. It's not a terrible situation here for IG, but I mean, just coming back to the last game, instead of Cassio, why don't you go for the Xerath? When you have wave clear with that champion, you can do long range damage, and you actually forced Sejuani to get into the backline. The fact that you could use the ultimate defensively is what kind of unsettled that comp. They just had no long range threat. Cassio, too short range, suits more of a team fight comp. So in this situation, when you see Kite, but also Engage from Vici, you have multiple options. Kallista's open in this situation. Kid, he loves the Kalista, but they have a 30% win rate with it, and they go to it again.
Yeah, I mean, Sivir open as well, but instead they'll take Kalista. Lulu there as well for IG. Probably going to be a top laner there for Zataibet, potentially a mid, or of course the support there as well. Plenty of flexibility. IG's first 3 picks, mostly ambiguous, I guess, especially with the Lulu being thrown in there, but Vici going to see what they want to do now.
I just don't understand you have a draft where Kallista's available, but Urgot's available as well, and you opt into the Kalista. The laning matchup is going to be horrible for Kid, although we have seen some people successfully navigate it if they can get the strong push on at level 1. Vici have multiple options here. They can look towards the mid lane, the top lane. Hecarim's up, and Hecarim's locked in.
Hecarim's fairly safe as far as top laner picks go, especially blind, so Carry will take that one away. Vasily going to go back to Urgot. I love that they're picking them together, just so Hecarim could supplement the slightly lower damage Urgot with a bit more carry potential of his own.
And it's what we saw from EDG. We mentioned in the previous series. EDG, game 1 yesterday, all their damage sources were effectively Urgot and Hecarim, and the Hecarim deals so well with the enemy AD carry and can just DPS them down, then can constantly put out those Trinity Force procs, especially if you go for the teleport smite build that really opens up Hecarim to just completely ruin an immovable carry's day.
And I wonder what Rookie wants to play. We've got Annie here potentially as well. Annie Kalista, very good lane, nice and strong. See a flash of the Janna there as well, which might mean, oh no, that would still make sense, sorry. Potentially picking a support away. IG flick some things around, and they settle on Janna and Twisted Fate as their final picks.
Twisted Fate as their last pick is a super interesting one. It's finally a proactive mid laner coming through from Rookie. It's a blind pick, though, which is always a risky proposition. Ahri is available. Ahri would be a strong pick in this situation, but it also opens up a potential Kassadin pick. Might have to take Teleport to match the global presence, but Kassadin has a 100% win rate since we've seen the changes on 5.6. Saw Pawn heroically step back into the lineup and do massive things on that champion yesterday, and at least being seriously considered here.
Yeah, Hetong, I don't remember if he's an Ahri player. We know Rookie, of course, is a big on that champion, but Hetong might just keep it on comfort. Analyst rapidly pointing at Marta's screen, and he swaps back to Kassadin at the last second.
So they had those 2 options considered, obviously, deeply considering the Cho'Gath. Difficult to hit CC specifically onto onto Kid because he's going to be hopping around with the Marshall Poise. So he went for the more reliable option of the Cassidy. Haven't seen much Cassidy in a long time from Hetong, but the strength on this patch seems to be consistent.
And again, adding some more damage to supplement the Urgot. So I like that teams know where to move around their CC and damage. If you have Urgot, move it to your other lanes. We saw Carry more damage for his top lane last game because Hetong was along with the utility champion. This time it's Vasily, so they move a bit more damage back into the mid lane.
And they needed someone that could really pressure Twisted Fate. And if they had gone for the Urgot middle, although you have kill pressure because of Twisted Fate's low base stats, the wave push advantage for Twisted Fate over the Urgot is such that he can exit lane quite happily.
And you can see Kakao versus Dandy. Gragas versus Nunu should be quite the jungle matchup. And Rookie on Twisted Fate, much more proactive, but Cassidy always looming in the background.
But if those first few Destinies do go through and can snowball other lanes while Cassidy's ramping up, it still could be a good lane there for Rookie.
Yeah, we see Kalista Urgot there as well for the AD carries. And support now as Kitty steals away the Janna, but actually got gifted it by Mato, who wanted to play Thresh instead.
I mean, that's the big consideration, that they were happy for once to sacrifice the Janna. Such a high win rate on that champion, but second most pick, it's the Thresh, so probably going to be happy with that result.
Yeah, Mata, an absolutely fantastic Thresh player as well. I mean, we could say that a lot about Mata just in general, I feel like.
I mean, Mata, he's one of the best supports in the world, the MVP of the 2014 World Championships. No introductions required for Mata.
No, not too many at least. And Vici, they looked strong in the first game despite how slow it was. We'll see if they can pick the pace up a little bit more. And so we're going to get straight onto the Rift for game 2. And here we are for the second game between Invictus Gaming and Vici Gaming. Vici up 1-0 here in this best of 5 in the LPL Spring Playoff Quarterfinals. The winner, of course, of this match goes on to face EDG, but we're a long way from that so far.
But the ironic thing is the identities of these two comps have kind of shifted, as now it's Invictus Gaming that have the rotational comp. They're going to have Lulu pushing hard in the top. Definitely going to have a advantage in a 1v1 lane, although we've seen a lot of teleport smite lane swaps going on to avoid those 1v1 situations. Twisted Fate going to apply so much pressure. We already mentioned that teams hate to give Hetong that champion just because it already expands on what is the standard gameplay mode of Vici, who love their rotational play. The only difference is that they don't have necessarily the Lucian Graves early power spike from Kalista, but we've already mentioned 2 items. She might be the strongest AD carry with 2 items in the league, so Invictus Gaming taking a page out of Vici Gaming's playbook.
Yeah, Rookie going for double mobility. Someone is once again as well on the Twisted Fate. You can see teleports there for both the top laners, but Carry, of course, on the Hecarim, going to opt in for the Smite as well.
So we've seen a lot of weird lane swap situations being going on, specifically in that EDG versus WE series yesterday. One thing we saw is that even in favorable 2v2 lane matchups, EDG were happy to initiate a lane swap. Even in the Urgot versus Kalista matchup, initiate the lane swap just to open up space for Hecarim to use that smite to go for a very fast jungle follow and stay out of lane. And it seems like in this situation, yeah, it is a red side lane swap. This is all about letting Hecarim exit lane and pick up camps wherever possible, because you have to expect the freeze coming through from Kid. That's plenty of time for jungling.
Yeah, exhaust they use onto Kitty's Carry getting low, but Janna a bit too aggressive, trying to at least poke them away from the blue buff. We'll track them for now, maybe force Carry back, but at the end of the day, Kitty's just using the summoner spell for almost no gain.
Yeah, but look, he didn't need to be in lane. The freeze had already been set on by Kid, so actually forcing Carry to go back. He's already used his smite, so the thing that smite opens up as a jungle, as a top lane Hecarim with smite is to pick up 2 camps very early, get a very early load of experience. So even if IG choose to push in the lane, you're very close to level 3. Now that he has to back, his jungle follow is going to be slower, and just the results, it just delays those power spikes from Hecarim that little bit.
Rookie in the mid lane, you can see doing nice harass onto Hetong, really bullying the melee Cassidy, and this is going to be generally true of Twisted Fate. Any lane where he can happily push in and pick cards constantly and just do damage to you as well is a happy lane for Twisted Fate.
Instant locked 3 gold cards in a row, so definitely got those mechanics down pat. Just trying to harass Cassidy as much as possible. If you can afford to push lane in this hard, and remember, you're against a Nunu who doesn't have the strongest gank pressure, it opens up situations like this where they can freely do this early dragon, and just with this lane pressure, with the minions pushing in so aggressively, Cassidy can't hope to rotate towards it. And in general, you know that Nunu's been jungling on the top side.
Yeah, Mata coming down as well, knows that Rookie's been a bit too aggressive. Dandy going to come in as well. Rookie's going to pop the ghost. Mata will line up the hook, but goes in for the flash play, tries to find the hook, but the rest of IG here now as well. Only level 2 is Kakao, gets a double knock up. Dandy gets stunned as well by a gold card and Twisted Fate. gonna get the first blood as Mata getting chased as well. Flays Kakao away with the gold card coming in again. Mata gets knocked up one more time. Zatai gets that second kill, and IG get everything.
And Vici were just far too aggressive in face-checking multiple members from Invictus Gaming. They knew they were at Dragon. They would have seen the level up and the indication that the Dragon had come through, but they went for the fight anyway, and they paid for it.
They really did. Their rookie getting a kill and an assist, going to go back. Boots and a Fiendish Codex finished all ready for this TF, and he's was pretty far ahead in CS of Atong, so now catching up under Turret as he has to go back, but this will not last.
The consistent CC coming through from IG was the big factor. That's the thing. The second, the third gold card, that's what gave them kill pressure. Twisted Fate so strong with those double mobility summoners. And suddenly Vici on the back foot.
Yeah, rookie level 4 now, moving in towards the 6s. In the top lane, Vasily getting some good aggression down. Zatai only level 2 though, has to flash away, but Mata hooks him after the flay, and Mata actually going to get the kill.
That was actually a really poor flash from Zatai. There was it wasn't looking to flash a skill shot that was being thrown out, so it just allowed the instant flay into death sentence. That was his death.
Yeah, rookie has double buffs now though, so things starting to cause problems in the mid lane of the map. Hetong actually going for a blasting one, maybe just for a bit of extra wave clear, or maybe trying to fight, but I have bad news for you, Hetong. Right now, you cannot fight this Twisted Fate.
No, definitely not. Has the blasting one, gives him a bit more range clear, especially if you're maxing force pulse. It actually helps you push the wave back as well, but with the double buffs especially, the lane control being so much in Rookie's advantage, even though he was ganked, means that when that level 6 comes around, he's going to have so much space to use the Destiny.
Yeah, and getting good pressure onto the turret now as well, constantly throwing cards and harassing Atong. You can see why Dandy wanted to gank him before. Rookie's been playing so far up in this lane just to harass Atong, but his team was there when they needed him. He's got plenty of mobility. Someone is not, okay, not so right now, but Rookie is playing very aggressively. This is where he excels.
And look, he doesn't really have to respect the ganking pressure from Nunu, so that's why he defaulted to playing so aggressively. It's all about showing aggression and then disappearing off the map, because now, of course, he's not sitting in a ward. He can go for any sort of roam. He has the Destiny available, and it's the jungle mid lane roam.
Oh, Mata, they're going to get stunned up now as well. Kakao even moving through, but Dandy's here as well. Rookie might be able to find a killer. Kakao still getting CC'd up. Rookie now going to get too low as Dandy and Hetong turn their attention. Kakao gets the kill. Kiddies just comes in to shield, but it doesn't quite get there, and Kid going to keep hopping in. Kakao, another double slam though. Hetong not quite level 6, is forced to flash away. Kiddies coming in. Kid gets the Ren though to kill Hetong. Now chasing it onto Dandy. Another knockout comes through. Double tornado moving in as well. Kid gets a double kill.
Dandy not respecting the early damage coming through from Kalista. Another kill trait goes to the advantage of IG, even though it looked like IG had bitten off more than they could chew.
And Kakao's Gragas, you can see the difference it makes when he's able to make plays on a champion. That was about 4 different two-man body slams in a row.
The two-man body slams and the two-man Howling Gales as well coming through from the Janna. So yeah, the CC train was actually really impressive, and IG a big advantage, 2.3k gold at 7 minutes.
And Rookie, I think, looking for Morello Nomicon possibly there as his first early purchase, so once the early CDR, might even see the cooldown boots that started getting a bit more popular on Twisted Fate. Hetong actually quite likes that build from memory. Zatai, though, level 4 has sort of been the benefactor of a lot of problems, I guess, unfortunately. Level 4 only really struggling for farm, but Carry's sort of in the same position, and good news for IG. Rookie, he's very strong.
And in general, it's really only a solo magic damage lineup coming through from Vici. It's only really Kassadin for magic damage, and its bases aren't that high. You only need to respect Kassadin's magic damage in the late game, so just go for the cheaper choice, the Snowball Morellonomicon, and get those destinies rolling.
You can see the aggressive vision being put out by Kakao and Kiddies as well. Moving in towards the blue side, pushing out the vision as well. Dragon will be back in a minute 30. Hetong comes in to claim his blue buff, and IG, interestingly, they're actually going to give it to them.
Yeah, they forced the lane rotation, so Urgot's now back in the bottom side, ready for Dragon. Of course, Urgot very strong at skirmishing at this part of the game.
Kiddies gets hooked. The Kalangale does come through. Vasily rejoins in, though, and Dandy's going to pick up a kill.
Yeah, they could have actually passed that kill over to Vasily, but they just kind of haphazardly left it up to Dandy. So he gets the kill credit. Not ideal kill distribution, but he was quite behind after dying twice. There's a Destiny.
Zatai looking for a dive. It's because Twisted Fate's coming through. Rookie will pop the ghost. Carry trying to buy some space. If it's stunned, still comes through. Joined in by the polymorph, and Carry looking to go down. Actually, ultis Rookie out of the way. Gets the trade kill, but Rookie does go down.
He actually pinged 6 Judah creeps dying to the turret during the turret dive. That's why they couldn't factor that in. They called for the gank before 6. The Terrified gives them a lot of kill bounty because, of course, the experience definitely in the advantage of Rookie. Actually gets a lot out of that carry.
Smart stuff by Carry, buying enough time to ding 6, and then wonderful play to get a 1v1 trade in a very awkward situation. Rookie's first Destiny does get a kill, but maybe not quite as cleanly as he would have liked.
No, not quite as cleanly at all. Definitely holds him behind. Has the Merlin Economicon completed now, but it's more free time for Cassin in the mid lane. 20 CS behind, despite Twisted Fate leaving the lane. Hetong definitely going to be hitting those power spikes a lot later than Pawn yesterday.
Kid and Kitty's now going to keep rotating in. Rico Bow actually up quickly for Kid. Might be looking for a fast Hurricane. Vasily, Brutalizer plus Tear of the Goddess moving through now as well. So getting stronger as everyone pretty much here. Hetong even moving in towards his Rod of Ages. Rookie done with his Morellonomicon now as well. Zatai looking for the same item as well. No chalices today apparently. More aggression coming through for the IG mages.
So you might be surprised to see the return of the Hurricane first Callista, which is what we're thinking with the Berserker Greaves, into the recurve bow. But there's a couple of factors this game that actually make it quite a strong purchase. People have been moving towards Bloodthirster just because in long laning phases, as a short range carry, it's nice to have the sustain advantage. It helps you in the laning phase situation. But in this particular game, we've seen a lot of rotations and fights in the early game, so of course Hurricane opens up potential Ren sets. But even simpler, the one disadvantage of Urgot in a lane is his ability to be pushed into, his counter-pushing. If he has to use his mana pool to push in the minion wave, he just has to fight Acid Hunters to trim minions. He doesn't have as much mana to trade, so pushing in is one of the best strategies against Urgot. It's one of the reasons that Caitlyn is a very strong laning options against the Urgot. So of course, although Kalista doesn't have innate wave pushing, just go for that Hurricane and just keep pushing in waves and then rotate for the fights that Hurricane really looks good in.
Makes sense as Cacao trying to get some vision around for this next dragon. Did clear out quite a few wards, but going to start the second dragon up for IG. Rookie's already rotated in. Everybody available. Both Carry and Zatai have their teleports, but IG have aggressively started this dragon. They're on top of it. The Ren's in there as well. They should be able to take it away. Zatai teleports into a very safe spot. Pops them up there with the ulti, Will Gragas, but now kind of trapped in the pit. What can IG do as Carry dives straight in the back? There's Zatai getting low, but use the wild growth. Dandy going to get low as well. Fate's Call just in time to dodge the absolute 0 damage, but Vici still too much damage coming in. Hetong dives in onto Kid and gets the kill, and a 3-for-1 win there for Vici.
Yeah, IG really didn't think that all through. They knew they could pick up the dragon. It was smart use of the explosive cast to guarantee dragon, but when you use that important cooldown to disengage the jungle, you don't have it up for the fight, and all the consistency. See the swap coming through from Vasily, the earlier power spikes coming through just from the fact that it's Urgot. We'll see in this replay. IG just lambs to the slaughter at this point. There's nothing Rookie can do. He does live longer because, of course, the wild growth comes through, but you're fighting against an Urgot who does so much base damage with the Acid Hunters and just a bit of armor penetration. Fighting in the front line, you're against a Cassin who's able to rift walk out even with no big items completed, and the item snowballs start to come. There's the Rod of Ages quite early for Hetong.
Yeah, good part time there. Under 12 minutes to pick that one up, despite how poorly the early landing phase was going there as well. Rookie does have his cooldown boots down as well, so quite strong, but much better in any sort of laning phase or skirmish situation. Not so much in the Dragon Pit. Carry, though, will get polymorphed away. Rookie trying to go in, but Carry, devastating charges activated. Rookie will chasing with the Ghost. Does find the stun. Damage comes through. Slow from Zatai, and that kill goes to Zatai.
Oh, the Lantern was coming. Mata almost was able to react. Does have the mobility bits, but not fast enough. And yeah, the Ghost, that's the big equalizer with no mana, and crucially, the Onslaught Charge not available. Nothing Carry could do. And
Carry just gets his Skirmisher Saber and the Cinderhawk done now as well. So a little bit behind in his early item build, potentially. Hetong off to a decent start as well. As we see, even Vasily moving through nicely. Dandy going to take the Lantern. Mata lining up a kill on Zatai. An amazing Flay plus Boxer. Hook landing in as well. Dandy channels his ulti, and Zatai will go down. No! Not enough damage there, unfortunately. The Wild Growth just saving him.
Yeah, Dandy actually fell really low during that exchange, so had to back away. Cassidy was in range, but Cacao there to relieve pressure, and no kill credit comes through for Vici.
That early Aegis from Cacao means that he can pretty aggressively go on top of Hetong, and Rookie going to get free time on this turret. Takes it out with one last blue card there, and that's going to open up space for Rookie, which is a very scary proposition for Vici.
I was going to say one of the scariest things in League of Legends is when a champion with as low base stats and great as roaming as Twisted Fate actually takes out your turret himself. When you don't have turret advantage against Twisted Fate, you have to hang so far back because you have to respect gank pressure in the mid. Of course, he's a great lane to gank for with basically very reliable instant CC coming through from the gold card, and then roams so well as well. So Cassidy always going to be in the back foot in this lane. Now going to have to be on the back foot under his turret. 13 minutes in.
Another contest though by IG for the blue buff, but they'll give it up pretty quickly this time. Last time it happened, Kitties got himself killed. Invictus Gaming not interested in that happening again, so instead, Hotong will eventually ride in here as Dandy holds the buff for him, and Cassidy is able to take it away.
It's one of the disadvantages of the comp that Vichi's chosen. Lulu's always going to have more lane pressure than a Hecarim, especially if you're not taking a combat summoner. You're actually taking that smite to help with your jungle pathing. Cassidy is always going to get pushed in by Rookie, especially when you have a jungle with such low ganking pressure as Nunu, so able to just basically disregard the Nunu and completely push in the lane. Only Urgot and Thresh could potentially be pushing the lane, but you can see on your screen, Vasili's actually been freezing this bottom lane largely in this situation. So the result is that IG have had the run of the map and now take out the all-important mid-outer turret.
Might explain why Kid is going pretty thin with his build, to be honest. Has the Rico BF sword. Never too sure about how this build really works out. We can understand their theory behind it, but really splitting the difference on the Hurricane and the BT.
I'm not a big fan of choosing between these two items, you know, building parts of both of them, just because then you don't get the laning sustain and power, the ability to last hit of the Bloodthirster, or the Ren sets and the pushing power of the Hurricane. You're always in that situation where at the next dragon fight, you don't actually have either recipe. You don't have all the power that comes through with the completions. So you're just stuck between two items that make you so powerful, but with neither of them, you just don't really provide either lane control and team fighting or necessarily sustain. So you're just kind of hoping that no one wants to opt into a fight till you have one of them.
Yeah, just sort of delaying the build here. I mean, I do get it. Kalista does both need the lifesteal and some attack damage and the attack speed, so this is the cheapest way to get all of that, but it is a little bit awkward for sure as Zatai pushing in aggressively towards the top lane.
But commit to one. Get the power of pushing or the power of sustain. Don't have both of them and desperately hope that the game won't be played on your terms, that you'll actually be the one to choose when the fights happen, because then reactively, you just don't provide anything.
Yeah, Kid pushing in the bottom side. The Invictus Gaming starting to do very meaningful damage to these outer turrets. The bottom one will fall here as Kid and Kitties team up with Vasili going back for his Glacial Shroud. They're keying up for the next dragon fight. And Zatai, good pressure on the top side, goes back himself, heads back towards the top lane, but his teleport's ready to go, dragon back up in 50 seconds.
So Urgot loves to build Glacial Shroud, and you look down this lineup, Kalista attack speed based, Twisted Fate to a large degree, has that stacked deck, so does love to build up attack speed as well. And Lulu, very auto attack centric, so Frozen Heart's been doing triple duty in this situation, also going to put him down towards 40% CDR, where you're able to get the maximum amount of Acid Hunters with your lock-on Noxian Corrosive Charge. I believe 37.5% CDR or more gets you the maximum damage output, and because you're all about your base values and armor pen, that's a great place for Vasili to be.
It is indeed, and dragging up in 20 seconds. We'll see if IG are going to take their third, or Vici can finally stop that snowball and stop IG in their tracks. And just casually looking up, actually, IG have a pretty substantial lead. Only just noticed, but the towers, and even though the kills are even, the tower advantage here and just some general CS, maybe even the loaded dice from Rookie helping out as well. That's 4,000 gold ahead already for Invictus Gaming.
We definitely need to mention CS. The 80 carries are even, which you have to give the advantage to Kalista in that situation. They just managed to even CS with Urgot, which is such a great laning matchup for the Urgot. Mid lane, as expected, been pushed in the whole time, so Caston's been doing what he can. The big difference is the jungle. 79 to 43 is a massive CS advantage for Grog.
And look at the difference in items here. We've both got Cinderhogs and completed jungle items, but a completed Locket for Cacao in this fight versus just the components of the Aegis here. Zatai even going to get the top tower. Is forced to use the ulti as Carry gets aggressive, but Zatai not particularly afraid. Carry, the level 11, might try and dive in onto Lulu, but instead we're going to have a 4v4 around the dragon.
I mean, look, Vici are getting punished for 2 losing lane matchups and just a low-pressure jungler. Dandy wasn't able to relieve any pressure because he was the one under pressure for most of this early jungle phase. Died twice in very quick succession around the first 8 minutes. Vici started the dragon, but Cacao, he's waiting on quietly.
Yeah, Kitties and Cacao waiting in. The ultimate pop there by Twisted Fate. They are going to go into Lulu, looking to port as well, but Carry's also coming in. They'll pull them off here. Carry does have his ultimate. Cacao getting nice and aggressive as Twisted Fate's gone all the way around the back for a flank here. He just needs to find somebody. Probably wants to lock down Hotong if he can. Maybe Vasili as well. And Rookie a bit caught out of position. Master going to flash hook forward, but he misses.
So Twisted Fate's going to come into this fight from the backside.
Kakao comes in, gets swapped into the back, though. Great ulti as Kid takes out Mata. Danny going to go down low as well. Ulti resets for Kiddies, and Rookie's in the backline, stunning people away. Kakao trying to fight Rookie, forced to flash away, but too tanky their carry. Goes in, does get the kill, but gets killed himself. Hatong actually going off in this fight, getting so many kills. Vasily coming back and will take out Kid, and Vici turn it around. Zatai gets the polymorph, but Vasily should be able to take him away. Oh my god, it's a massive fight here. IG get their ulti back, but Vasily completes the ace.
Was that the second wild growth? Was it long enough fight for that? That's crazy to me, Pastry Time. But Vasily, despite not maxing that shield second, still very tanky with the extra mana coming through, and put out the damage to take him down through wild growth. You see the power of skirmishing with an early game Urgot.
Yeah, and Hatong, you could see when Cassidy does get into the fight, level 11 at least there for Hatong. He did so much damage before he died.
I mean, Carry as well was doing big burst of damage, almost got a double kill himself when he finally used that cooldown, the Onslaught Shadows, late into the fight. It was a close one, but for the second time in a row, Vici won a fight despite being 5k gold behind.
Yeah, we'll see it again here. This fight was very long.
So we'll wait to the replay. Mata had already missed his death sentence in this situation, so the fight was long and unorganized. It's broken up. Mata falls really fast. Dandy falls as well. So it's quickly a 5v3 page time. So you think, okay, that's going to be in the advantage of IG, but at this point, we see Urgot's been completely chased away from the fight. I thought he was dead at this point. I didn't realize that he was still alive, but Hatong's putting out consistent damage. That Riftwalk already on a low cooldown. Then Vasily shows up at half health with mana, and there's just not much you can do in this situation. Flashed away, but still died to Zatai.
And IG back on his dragon, trying to still get their third. Hatong, though, will dive into the back. Rookie gets a steal as Dandy will take the dragon away. Kakao, wild growth in the middle of the fight as Rookie and Kid trying to find a way back in, but Cassidy always going forward here, and Vasily does swap somebody, and Dandy turns his ulti as Kakao goes down. Kid looking for a kill, finds it onto Mata. Now IG going to keep going in. Rookie finding in there with the gold card, gets a kill into Urgot. Carry coming back in there, but will go down to Twisted Fate as he gets a double kill, and Rookie does have his ultimate. Will he chase in? He's low on mana, does not do it.
So Kalista was pressured enough to blow his flash at the start of the fight to respect the death sentence, but then got to freely auto attack and suddenly has shown up with both those core items we talk about, the 2-item power spike from Kalista, outdoing whatever Urgot wanted to do. And that's the thing, when you're able to take out these fights, you've got high attack speed Kalista and Twisted Fate, the master of doing turret damage from the mid. So those turrets, they go quickly.
And Vici, they got the dragon, but they still don't have any turrets. They've won a couple of exchanges, and there've been so many kills already in this game, but IG, of all teams, have been the one to convert those advantages.
Well, the weight of global gold is just really working out for IG, and again, it comes back to the champion set. We talked about in the first game, it felt like IG picked themselves into a corner where they didn't have poke or enough team fight to deal with the kite comp coming out from Vici, who rotated super well. In this game, picking losing lanes and a Nunu has just meant that they've never had any map control whatsoever, and although the very bloody fights have twice gone in their advantage, they were so close that there was no objectives to be gotten from them.
And they're so far behind in gold, almost 8,000 gold already in this situation, and IG continue to snowball objectives here. Twisted Fate going in for a Lich Bane, you have to think there with the Shen. Zon is already completed for Rookie, so lots of engaged potential now. Twisted Fate can go in with Reckless Abandon if he wants to, and as long as they pin down Hatong, IG don't really have anything to worry about.
And the scary thing is that one of the cornerstones of a Vici Gaming win is that ward control, and once again they have wonderful ward control, but consider they have to spend their gold on these wards. So what is a 7k gold lead already for IG is actually implicitly larger because they've been spending so much more gold, Vici, on Vision than IG has.
And Kakao getting big. Zatai almost done with his Rabadons there as well, so IG will push firmly through the mid game once a few more items have been completed. Last Whisper almost here for Kid. And of course, Rookie working on his third item as well. Even Kiddies just has his Mikhails ready to go, helping the peel for Kalista.
I mean, Vasily has got the Frozen Heart, so doesn't have to respect the physical damage coming through from Kid in particular. That's the swap target they're looking for, is a swap onto Kid. But Kakao, you have to feel like at this point, he's just going to hold on to that explosive cast, and with its massive range, just keep it to stop the swap from registering.
Yeah, we'll see how IG navigate their next few team fights here, but Vici have to play quite far back now in this game. Hatong is trying to get some farm down towards the bottom side of the map, but getting pushed in. Zatai starting to get bullied around a bit by Carry though as well. Actually uses his ultimate there. Carry can look for a solo kill, but Zatai, sorry, does have his ultimate and will use it. But Lulu forced away from the top lane.
Very curious use of the cooldown. Carry doesn't have a Trinity Force, doesn't even have a Phage at this point, doesn't really have the damage to do any sort of trade damage to Lulu. Okay, he blows the Wild Growth, but it's on a much shorter cooldown than the Onslaught of Shadows. So when we're talking about team fight spells being down, Onslaught of Shadows, very notable.
And Hetong's actually been the beneficiary of most of the big fights for Vici. He is the one doing a lot of damage. If he's able to run rampant in the fights, he'll do plenty to pick them up despite the deficit here, but still building in towards his next major items. He's got a Zhonya's now, which is nice. He just went back and completed it, but Rookie still keeping pace here despite the impressive score from Hetong, and Vici just is still waiting to find their real power spikes.
And Vici in general will be looking at their lineup and saying, okay, in the late game we've got it. We've got the Hecarim, we've got the Kassadin. The Kassadin's doing well for himself, but because their base is so close to being in tatters, in general the map is well in the advantage of IG, 5 turrets to 0. And their top laner, consider the fact that Carry, he's nowhere near the Trinity Force. It looks like he's not even going to be building it this game, so it isn't going to be the backline diving threat. If he's not able to keep Kid out of a fight, whether he's killing him or just completely zoning him from a fight, if he can't do that job, you feel like the Vici team comp just won't be able to stand up to IG.
And it's crazy to see a Vici game that is here at 25 minutes and doesn't have any turrets down. That's the foundation of how Vici like to play League of Legends. They're a great rotational team. So the fact that IG have shut them out of taking any turrets so far in this game is very impressive.
Well, they didn't pick a rotational comp in the slightest. I said it in the Champions League. IG have the Vici-esque comp. IG have been doing the rotations, doing their best Vici impersonation, and hell, it's working.
It's looked wonderful so far as Zatai. Now as his Rabadon's Death Cap, has a Sapphire Crystal in there as well, so probably moving in for a Shane and then eventual Lich Bane there as his third item. Frozen Heart completed for Kakao along with the Locket, and IG are going to start to try and steal the blue buff one more time.
Opting into these late game power spikes. There is always that light at the end of the tunnel, but it requires IG to misrotate dramatically to not be able to take these dragons and barons that should be there.
Well, Mata flash, flay, and box only hits the hook on a Kid. Dandy goes in aggressive, though. Hetong also flashing forward as well, but Kiddies will get them out with the ulti. Carry gets exhausted as he jumps in, but Kiddies already dead. Hetong now dead as well, though, and that's real bad news as Rookie in the fight that gets wild growth by Lulu. Aggressively goes forward, finally falls down, but Kid gonna get a double, might make it a triple as Vasily goes down as well. Pencil in the quadra there for Kid as well, and an ace completed by IG.
Casual quadra kill from Kid, who once again was free hitting the backline. Doesn't even have QSS, but didn't need to respect the swap. It was used very early by Vasily, and if you let a Kalista free hit, this is the result.
And you can see now IG going to run over to the Baron buff as well. We saw an early 25-minute Baron for Vici in the last game after the first team fight. IG going to do the same. Seems that people might have been paying attention to EDG, who've been doing this all split long, but that's a Baron for IG, and Vici find themselves very far behind.
You don't even need the 2 smites if you're IG. Kalista out-damaging smite with the Rend. You see they're doing over 2,000 damage, I believe, to the Barons. They easily DPS it down. In fact, all 5 members had respawned. IG, they're really on this game.
Yeah, QSS up for Kid now as well, so he's almost impossible to pin down, even with the good CC that Vici have. Urgot ulti won't even be enough at this stage. Lich Bane completed now for Rookie, who's dishing out respectable damage, not to mention his utility that's already quite strong. A Giant's Belt for Kakao makes him even tankier, and Zatai slowly but surely working on his Lich Bane.
So you might be asking, Page Time, why is this comp not working out for Vici, even though it's so similar to the comp that EDG ran successfully against World Elite in Game 1? The big difference is in the Hecarim. The Hecarim is so far behind this game, has gone into the Spirit Village, won't be able to be building Trinity Force. He's not able to dive on Kid and kill him, or even take him out of a fight, because Kid just turns around and DPSs him down himself. And if Kid doesn't have to respect carry, the Hecarim pick just does nothing.
Yeah, and we've seen when Hecarims fall behind. This was true of Hecarim back when Amazing J started picking him in the LPL season. He's a bruiser. You need items. It's a big gold investment to get you to a spot where you're powerful. And unfortunately, as good as Cinderhawk is, that's just another investment you have to make.
And the unique thing about Hecarim as a champion is the burst damage. It's the fact that you have to respect Trinity Force Hecarim. But when you don't have the Trinity Force, you're just a tank that dives in, is quite able to sustain up with the Spirit of Dread. but if you're not doing any damage, you don't really have the CC.
Zatai getting aggressed on now, does use the Wild Grip, but Dandy's rotated in as well. Marta and Vasily also find their way out, gets flayed out of the teleport, and Vasily gonna get himself a kill.
So if IG had really committed to mid lane, they might have been able to get turret damage down, but we saw Rookie was actually in the bottom lane, so no objectives to answer, and they have to wait out the death timer, and now wait for the grouping from Zatai, because he's used his teleport.
Yeah, Rookie gonna push the bottom side in there as well, but Hetong down in the bottom side, ready to clear it out, so get that for himself. As we just see as well, IG continuing to press forward here, 10,000 gold ahead already. Just have to sort of close out the game carefully at this stage of the game. So Zatai, unfortunately, a little too reckless in his split pushing, despite the good wards there from IG. And maybe it's just a matter of grouping up and trying to fight. I mean, Rookie, he can split all he likes at this point on Twist of Fate. Need to see Large Rod joining in there as well. I think he's going for a Luden's Echo.
Luden's Echo might be the purchase, of course. Could just be a death cap for even more wave clear coming through. The Amp Tome is cost effective, so there's no need to necessarily dwell on that one. Worth knowing that Hetong very close to the important timings for casting. Level 16, when that base cooldown goes down to 2 seconds on the Rift Walk, and close to that 20% cooldown reduction item. We love the Athenes, because between Athenes, the Netherblade, and Dangerous Game, you're getting 43% of your mana back on a kill or assist. But in this situation, both are fine. He just needs to opt into fights. He's hitting those timings. It's just carry. Again, Hecarim's CC doesn't necessarily need to be respected outside of the ultimate. If you don't have burst damage, you're just a tanky frontline. You're effectively a Mundo with lower CC. If you're not a threat, that should open up Kid to do another Renset. And we've already seen the casual Quadra from Kid.
Yeah, 10, 2, and 5 right now on the Kalista. Having a great game here is Kid. And IG, again, kind of a bit slow between objectives. Maybe looking to snowball up, get to that 5th dragon, and close out the game from this point. IG certainly doing a lot of pushing right now, just making sure the side waves stay trimmed. But certainly when the objective comes back up, Dragon should be maybe 3-4 minutes away. Look for IG to group once again, and if Vici can test, they're going to struggle to really fight.
IG just don't have many easy objectives left on the map to pick up. They could rotate top to take this top turret, but maybe that'll be after they get the 4th dragon, just to take away any pressure from this potential 4th dragon coming through. Breaking the base, it's not that complicated, because there's actually very low wave clear coming through from Vici, but there's a lot of initiation potential from the Hecarim flank, from even a Marta death sentence coming out. So they have to be a bit careful. It's always very difficult to break the base. That's not a trivial requirement, but their turret damage, especially between the higher attack speed Kalista and Twisted Fate with Lichbane, is off the charts.
Yeah, you can see the gold leads, especially just for everyone here on IG, so far ahead. They've even got the Gragas to help push people off the turrets to try and take them out. So IG have plenty of good options here. You can see, can't quite read how much it is, but I can tell you Rookie's gotten a lot of extra gold from his passive.
Yeah, absolutely. When you have 279 CS, when you're randomly rolling with a increased likelihood of getting a 6 compared to a 1, you're talking 6 CS for every 20 CS that a creep gives, cheaper creeps even. So you're gonna build up big gold value. So no surprise that he's ahead. The Castellan though has his core items, has Merc Treads, Zhonya's, Rod of Ages, and Athenes. His frontline damage is massive. Level 16 now. Gonna have to watch himself, Kid, because we've already seen that you can hopping mad in the front line with the 1.2 second cooldown on the Rift Walk and do a lot of assassination work on reworked Castle.
Yeah, Hetong's the big concern here. He's gotten massive here towards the 30-minute mark in this game. Next, big buffs are coming back up here as Dragon and Baron are both primed to respawn soon. Kid does have a build water, so that will help potentially peel off the cast and just try and out-damage him, or at least stay afloat with the lifesteal way. He just jumps on top of you, and there's Mikhail's there as well for Janna. They have the tools to peel here, but IG have to make sure they play the next fight super carefully.
I mean, the big thing for IG is they have a lot of targeted CC and disengage, but if they're trying to engage and those cooldowns are down, they don't have a lot of peel for Kid. So in this situation, where they're going to be forcing Vici to come to them, whether it's to battle for the 5th dragon, whether it's to battle for the next Baron, and you're able to stack the CC and disengage, whether it's the Polymorph, whether it's the Glitter Lance, whether it's even the Explosive Cask, and then all of Janna and Twisted Fate CC, they do have a lot of peel for Kalista if they're kiting backwards, and that might be the situation, because Vici have to come and fight for these objectives eventually.
I think Polymorph's my favorite one there, actually. So underrated almost as the CC. So strong for so long, still very formidable. And I mean, Cassidy, the one thing he wants to do is dive in. Unfortunately, when he's coming in as a cupcake or a sheep or whatever it is this time around, I think a dragon actually with the skins that Ty's using. He didn't really do much damage, unfortunately.
You don't do a lot of damage, but Vici have a lot of consistent damage dealer, and all of them have opted into Merc Treads. 4 Merc Treads, just the Moby Boots on Marta. So they're respecting the high CC coming through from IG. So there is still that glimmer of hope, even though you're 12k down. that just the Hetong pick, the Cassidy, can really carry them through a fight.
And Vici, despite the gold deficit, are playing fairly aggressively for Vision around this dragon. Remember, Vici still don't have a turret, so while IG do have a big gold lead, Vici have plenty of extra gold to get just by taking out turret. So if they win a fight, the gold gap will close considerably in that time, possibly by about half here. But IG are primed to try and win a fight here. Mart's going to throw out a hook, but misses it. Kitty's forced to flash away. Gets Fates called there as well. Might pop his way back in, but no, just keeps it safe and sticks near Kid. Has to peel for him. Kakao fairly tanky here, but Dragon alive. No one dead yet, just a couple of cooldowns used.
Yeah, no one used an ultimate cooldown though, so we're waiting to see a big team fight initiation used from Vici. They only really have the swap, the hyperkinetic position reverser from Urgot as a true initiation option. Carry needs to be diving onto Kid though.
I mean, Kakao just taking no damage at this point. Happy to initiate straight on top of everyone. They know Hetong's trying to peel for them. They're sticking on top of it as Kakao tries to get messy though. Now Rookie going to come in, actually uses his ultimate, and Kakao still in there. Mata flashing forward. Kid, he's getting chased on carries on top of him. Hetong's there as well. Hecarim will get the shutdown, and now Hetong has been unleashed. Rookie gonna go down there as well, and that's all the IG carries, dead. Hetong still chasing people down. Dandy did fall in the mess, but a 4-for-1 win for Vici.
And that's what Vici were working for. Enough item timings on the Cassidy, and it doesn't matter that Carry's so far behind. He knows that even if the first Riftwalk doesn't get him there, the next one's a second later. You will eventually get on top of Kid, and QSS is not enough, and no one can peel away a late game Cassidy.
Yeah, I mean, they couldn't quite use the Greg Assault either. Kakao did a good job. He soaked so much damage there, but I mean, Kalista struggles at the best of times against Hecarim. Urgot, Cassidy in the mix there as well. Even Nunu is great against Kalista. I'm still not sure why people are continually picking Kalista. She's been so popular in the LPL, though.
I mean, look, we saw in the early game how much work she was doing. Remember, there was a casual Quadra not long ago, so at the start of this fight, not much is happening. It's just all been fairly quiet at the start of the fight, but it quickly goes from there, pastry time, as we see, wait for the engage onto Kid. I thought with the hyperkinetic position reverser down, Kid could just freely DPS, but you held onto the onslaught of shadows, and then here comes Cassidy, instantly bursts him down, has managed to keep hopping around happily. I believe there was 3 hops in the backline to take down Rookie. These are very low base health carries. Twisted Fate and Kalista among the squishiest of all champions in the league. And the base values from Hetong and all the spells going around. Remember, the Rampage basically being used off cooldown. That Force Pulse has 100% uptime.
Kakao going in, but TC not lasting too long. Mart's going to get chunked out. Will die there to Kakao. Now IG will continue fighting him, but Hetong diving into the back. Uses his Zhonya's there, Rookie, trying to find some stuff, but Hetong just keeps going. Gets polymorphed wonderfully though by Zatai and will go down. Now Dandy channeling his ulti will go down as well. Vasily looking to be the next target now as well. He'll get chased down as well. And all of a sudden it's a swap around. IG win 4-0.
And the communication was definitely not there between the members. It was Caston going in alone, using the Zhonya's preemptively. No onslaught of shadows coming out from Carry. No damage reduction from that challenging smite. And with the 4 members down, this should be IG's game.
This game's over. There's so much turret damage here as Carry gonna try and fend them off, but Hecarim gets polymorphed as well. Zatai will get feared away by the ulti, but Rend comes through for Kalista. Another kill landing for Kid. And Invictus Gaming, it was a very short few last team fights, but they even it up one apiece now.
You could see that Vici's comp did deal with IGs if they were ahead or even. The problem was that they had so many structures down that one misfire on initiation was enough for Invictus Gaming to finish the game. You cannot opt into 2 losing lanes and have lower jungle pressure against a top team, because this is the result.
And we talked about it before. That polymorph for Zatai was clutch in the last little exchange as well. Very strong play from the top laner. In fact, across the board there for IG. Certainly felt like they got themselves into a bit of a rut. It's taking too much time to close out that game, but you can tell when IG are being proactive, when they play on the front foot, they look incredible.
Yeah, parts of Vici's comp came together, you'd have to say, but at the wrong times, at the wrong timing, it just didn't work as a 5-man unit. IG, they take it down after that last team fight, and we're back all square.
Yeah, I mean, a best of 3 now here in the playoffs as we move through it. Vici, very convincing win there in game 1. IG a little bit shaky towards the middle, but ended very strong for them as well. I think both teams in certain ways had a bit of a misdraft to lose themselves a game. So after 2 games, it's curious to see what they'll have learnt for game 3.
So far, the assertive team, the rotational-based team has taken down both games. Should be no surprise in a series with Vici, but the surprise was going for those late-game power spikes, those lane-losing champions. Usually we see Lulu, we see Graves and Lucian basically whenever they're available for Vici, because they play so much better when they're actually winning those lanes and rotating. 0 turrets for Vici that game.
Yeah, that's a surprising result, but Invictus Gaming are able to take it out and equalize at 1 apiece, so we'll have a quick break, but when we return, we'll be back to a best of 3.